Hi, I'm Nat, and today I'm gonna teach you how to Arduino. It may be a bit much, but hear me out. Today you will know the basics of it. Arduino is an easy way for people to understand microcontroller without much of a hassle, the hassle of actually learning. Today I will turn it into 3 parts.
Number 1, alternative parts.
So the problem with Arduino is that the first thing that you're gonna do is buy the board. Everything is free. There's a price. Grow up, kid. So there's many ways to buy Arduino, You can buy from the shops, you can buy from the internet, you can buy anywhere nowadays. Yes, of course, there is a kit to this whole business, but for starter, I advise you not to buy a kit. Although a kit is great at first sight, but if you look into it, most of them are not great. Some of them are just horrifically bad. Please don't buy it. I beg you. I beg you. But at least it's a one-time deal. Of course, this Arduino can be reused. Not everything has to be used and thrown away,
Part 2, I develop tinkering.
The part 2 I will divide into 3. There's a input, computing, and there's a third one, the output. So the input has many ways. There's a button, there's a lever. Hell, even a remote controlling everything around it. Because most of them don't have network modules. I recommend you the Node 32S. Now, the fun part, the Arduino itself. You have to understand the pin first. Now, the pin groups can divide into 3 or 4. There are digital, analog, the powers, and the thing that you never use, but some people will. But for beginners, you mostly did not use this. There are some misinformation in the first recording. So, actually, an analog signal can take on any numbers of the values, and the digital signal can take only 2 values, highs and lows. Remember this. And the powers. This thing powers the board, powers the system. Output can be many things. It can be display, it can be engines, you name it. If your output is required more than 5 volts, you might have to use the motor drive. If you're not too careful, your power might go back to your Arduino board and fry it deeper than Ramsay allowed to.
No. Oh my God, young man, kill yourself!
So today we're gonna build an ultrasonic rangefinder with LED screen. So the first thing we do is connect 5V and GND or grounded to the red and blue line in the breadboard. And this time we're gonna use digital pin 10 and 13 for sensor. As you are clearly not see, ultrasonic sensor can be connected with 4 pins: power, grounded, trigger, and echo. This time the output will be LED with I2Cs. Although I never used I2C before, this time I will try to learn it too. By connecting 5 volts to 5 volts and ground to ground. And this time we're gonna use analog pin 4 and pin 5. In the pin 4 will connected to SDA and pin 5 connecting to SCL.
Part 3, coding. Can I have my ice cream now?
Start by using liquid crystal ICD.H and wire.H. These two things are extra class. You can add it in library to the Arduino library itself. No, liquid crystal is not crystal. No, it's not the same, alright? We will incorporate LEDs with ICDs, the class that is liquid crystal. No, not that. Now, when coding with Arduino, there are 2 sections. There is setup and loop. Setup is only run one time per instance. You cannot run again, even though you want to. But hey, if you want to run again, go to loop. Yeah. Loop can run many times. Keep doing it. Keep doing it until all of them. Keep doing it until it's run out of power, or you tell them to stop. Now the setup, we're gonna use the pin modes for declaring that we're gonna use 2 pins by using pin mode, the pin numbers, and declaring that is output or input. In this case, we're using output and input for pin 10 and 13 by order. After we declare the pins, we're gonna declare the LEDs. It requires us to turn on it. So LEDs, we have to start up LEDs, clear the LEDs so that any excess data that's still on in it get cleared out, and backlight. Backlight just signal that it has to turn on the backlights. Now for the loop, we're creating two floating points. We create distance and duration. This is gonna come in handy later, you know. In this case, we're gonna use pin 10 digital write. Digital write means we insert the data in digital pin 10. We're gonna start loads because we have to make sure that it is turned off. You're not gonna want to turn on and turn on again, yeah? Turn off to the pin 10 and then turn on, delay, and turn off so that the sensor have time to get the data and send back to us before it turn off. Alright, good. Now we can use this formula to calculate the data from the sensors, the ultrasonic sensors, and calculate it back to centimeters. Now normally when you're using ultrasonic sensors, there's some limit to the range and the minimum range. Ultrasonic has to have some range that it can produce sound out to bounce it back into them. But if it's too far away, it cannot receive the signal back. And in that range, we will send out the ICD.print, print out the data for us. And now the fun part. We look and see. On here is my reaction on
1 a.m.
Everyone is sleeping.
It's working. It's working. It's working. It's working. Yo, it's working. It's working. It's working. Yeah.
Conclusion.
In my opinion, Arduino is the thing that I learned when I was young. My mentor decided to teach me Arduino. I stand here now, pretty proud to say that most of things I still don't know, but hey, if it's the basic, you can count on me.